Sometimes all it takes is a tiny light to show us the way through the darkest nights. This is the story of a little boy and a broken lantern and a journey that changed how an entire village saw hope. High up in the misty hills of a small mountain village lived a boy named Aaron. He was just 12, skinny, quiet, always lost in thought. His family was poor. His father worked long hours at the coal mines, and his mother sold vegetables in the market. Their home stood at the far end of the hill, where the nights were darker than anywhere else. There were no streetlights, no electricity, and after sunset, everything disappeared into shadows. Every evening, Aaron would light a small lantern, a tiny glass lamp that had been passed down from his grandfather. Its glow was soft, golden, almost too weak to reach beyond the doorstep. But to Aaron, it felt like a friend. He believed, even small light can keep darkness away. One winter evening, a storm rolled over the village. Thunder roared across the valley, and heavy rain began to fall. People hurried home, closing doors, covering fires. Everything turned silent. That same night, a message spread. A group of miners were trapped deep inside the mountain tunnel after a sudden landslide. The whole village panicked. Everyone knew those tunnels were narrow and dangerous, and if no one reached them soon, it would be too late. Among the trapped men was Aaron's father. As hours passed, rescuers tried to go, but the path to the mines was almost invisible. Rain kept pouring. The lanterns they carried blew out one by one in the wind. The night grew colder, and fear started to win. Aaron stood outside his home, holding his tiny lantern against his chest. The flame flickered, weak but alive. He could see the faint outline of the mountain path, twisting into the storm. His mother cried, "Don't go, Aaron. It's too dangerous." But the boy looked at her and said softly, "Papa once told me, the light doesn't have to be big. It just has to move forward." Before anyone could stop him, Aaron stepped into the storm, barefoot, soaked, holding that little lantern high. The rain hit hard. The wind almost blew the flame out. But every time it flickered, Aaron shielded it with his hands and whispered, "Please don't die, they need you." He climbed the rocky path, slipping again and again. His knees bled, his hands trembled, but that light stayed alive. Far behind, the villagers saw a faint golden moving through the darkness. One by one, they grabbed their own lanterns and followed. Soon, dozens of small lights began to appear, like fireflies glowing through the storm. When Aaron reached the blocked tunnel, he set his lantern on a rock and began to dig with his bare hands. The rescuers arrived moments later, guided by the light he carried. After hours of struggle, they finally broke through. The trapped miners were pulled out, exhausted but alive. Among them was Aaron's father, covered in dust, eyes full of tears. He looked at his son, trembling in the rain, and whispered, "You found us with that?" Aaron smiled faintly, holding up the cracked little lantern. "I didn't find you. Papa, the light did." The next morning, when the sun rose over the hills, the villagers gathered around Aaron's home. They brought flowers, food, blankets, not for celebration, but for gratitude. The old village chief placed his hand on Aaron's head and said, "Last night, your little lantern showed us something we've forgotten. That hope doesn't have to be big to be real." From that day on, every house in the village lit a small lantern at night, in memory of the boy who carried light through the storm. And whenever people felt lost, they would look at those glowing dots across the hill and remember, even the smallest flame can guide the longest journey. You see, in life, we often wait for big things, big chances, big strength, big change. But sometimes, all we need is the courage to take one small step with whatever light we have. No matter how dark your path looks tonight, keep your little lantern burning, because your light might just be the one someone else is waiting for.